Inner enemies are not the people you meet on the street, nor the competitors in your workplace, nor even the critics who speak against you. The real enemies are hidden deep within, shaping your actions silently and secretly. They come in many forms: fear that keeps you from trying, doubt that convinces you that you are not capable, procrastination that delays your progress, laziness that robs your potential, anger that blinds your judgment, insecurity that makes you settle for less, and negative thinking that poisons every opportunity before it even begins. These enemies live closer than any adversary outside because they live in your mind and heart. The danger of inner enemies is that you cannot run away from them. You carry them with you into every room, every decision, and every opportunity. They are present when you wake up and when you sleep. They are not destroyed by avoiding them, but by confronting them directly. Many people lose in life not because the world was too hard, but because they never defeated themselves. Fear killed their dream before they ever stepped forward. Doubt locked the door to their future before they even knocked. Laziness buried their potential before they ever started working. Until you understand that your real fight is inward, you will waste your strength blaming people or situations outside. The truth is, you can rise above poverty, criticism, and even lack of resources if you defeat the voices within. Recognition is the first step to freedom. When you call out these inner enemies for what they are, you disarm their power. You cannot conquer an enemy you refuse to admit exists. Once you identify them, you are ready to begin the battle of transformation. The root of inner conflict is not found in the environment around us, but in the hidden chambers of the mind and heart. Circumstances outside may trigger frustration, fear, or hesitation, but the true birthplace of these enemies is internal. Every action, every decision, and every hesitation begins first as a thought. When the mind accepts fear, the heart begins to tremble. When the mind entertains doubt, the hands refuse to act. When the mind feeds on negative ideas, the whole life bends under the weight of hopelessness. This is why two people can face the same challenge, yet one rises in courage while the other collapses in defeat. The difference is not in the storm, but in the inner dialogue happening within them. Conflict begins when what you know you should do is resisted by the voices of fear and doubt. You want to move forward, but another part of you whispers that you might fail. You desire to start something new, but procrastination argues that tomorrow is better. You dream of success, but insecurity convinces you that others are more qualified. This battle between vision and hesitation is the true war of life. Until it is resolved, no amount of opportunities outside will bear fruit. The origin of this conflict is often rooted in past experiences, childhood impressions, or repeated disappointments. These memories plant seeds of limitation in the subconscious, and if not challenged, they grow into strongholds. The good news is that inner conflict does not have to define you. Once you recognize that the enemy is not outside, but within, you can stop wasting energy blaming people and start investing energy into transforming your thinking. Victory begins where awareness meets discipline. Self-awareness is the starting point of conquering inner enemies because you cannot fight what you cannot see. Many people live their entire lives blaming external conditions, pointing fingers at others, or waiting for circumstances to change, when in reality the problem lies within. To be self-aware means to pause, reflect, and honestly examine the thoughts that run through your mind and the emotions that control your decisions. It requires courage to admit that fear has been holding you back, or that doubt has been shaping your choices, or that laziness has been stealing your time. This level of honesty is not easy, but it is the key that unlocks transformation. When you name your inner enemies, you strip them of their hidden power. Fear thrives in secrecy, procrastination survives in denial, and insecurity grows when ignored. The moment you shine the light of awareness on them, they begin to lose strength. Ask yourself, what excuses do I make most often? What thoughts stop me from taking action? What feelings keep me from pursuing my vision? The answers to these questions reveal the very enemies you must overcome. Self-awareness also gives you control over your responses. Instead of reacting blindly to negative thoughts, you begin to catch them, analyze them, and replace them with empowering beliefs. It allows you to step outside of yourself and see the patterns you repeat. Patterns that either move you forward or keep you stagnant. Awareness turns confusion into clarity and weakness into strength, because once you identify what is wrong, you can apply the right solution. The greatest battles are won not by force, but by understanding. When you become aware of the hidden forces within you, you take the first step toward freedom. Awareness leads to intentional change, and intentional change leads to victory. Renewing the mind is one of the most powerful strategies for defeating inner enemies, because your thoughts are the architects of your reality. Everything you do, every choice you make, and every step you take is first born in your mind. If your mind is filled with doubt, you will hesitate. If your thoughts are dominated by fear, you will retreat. If negativity shapes your thinking, you will sabotage your own progress. This is why it is said, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. To change your life, you must first change your thoughts. Renewing the mind means breaking old patterns of thinking and replacing them with new, empowering ones. It is a daily discipline, not a one-time event. You must train your mind to reject destructive thoughts and embrace those that align with your vision and purpose. When fear whispers, "You cannot," your renewed mind must respond, "I can." When doubt says, "You are not ready," your renewed mind must declare, "I am prepared." This process requires focus, repetition, and belief. Just as a muscle grows stronger through consistent exercise, the mind grows sharper and more resilient through consistent renewal. This renewal also demands what you feed your mind. Just as your body cannot thrive on junk food, your mind cannot grow on negative input. Surround yourself with positive influences. Read material that uplifts and challenges you, and spend time with people who speak life, not defeat. Over time, your inner dialogue changes. You begin to think higher, see clearer, and act bolder. The mind is the battlefield, and whoever controls it wins the war. Renewing your mind places you in control, equips you with resilience, and disarms the inner enemies that once seemed invincible. A renewed mind is the key to a renewed life. Discipline and consistency are the weapons that defeat inner enemies over time. Many people begin with excitement, full of energy and good intentions, but they fail to sustain their effort. They want instant results, and when progress feels slow, they give up. The truth is that inner enemies like procrastination, laziness, and fear cannot be defeated in a single moment. They must be worn down daily through repeated acts of discipline. Victory is not achieved in one battle, but in a series of small, consistent choices that build strength over time. Discipline is the ability to do what must be done, even when you do not feel like doing it. Feelings are temporary, but discipline is steady. You may not always feel motivated, but discipline carries you forward when motivation fades. Every time you choose to act instead of delay, every time you rise early to work on your vision, every time you refuse to surrender to excuses, you weaken the grip of your inner enemies. Consistency multiplies the power of discipline. A single action may bring temporary results, but consistent action brings transformation. Reading one page will not make you wise, but reading daily will shape your mind. Exercising once will not make you strong, but exercising regularly will transform your body. Speaking one positive affirmation may feel good, but repeating it daily rewires your thinking. Consistency turns effort into habit, and habit into character. The inner enemies thrive on inconsistency. They wait for the days you stop, the moments you break your routine, the times you give in just once. But when you remain consistent, they lose their foothold. Over time, discipline and consistency build unstoppable momentum, and that momentum leads to mastery over yourself and victory in life. Vision and purpose are the greatest weapons against inner enemies, because they give meaning to every struggle and direction, to every step. A person without vision is like a ship without a compass, tossed around by fear, doubt, and insecurity. But when you know where you are going and why you must get there, the voices of your inner enemies lose their power. Fear cannot hold you when your vision is greater than your comfort. Doubt cannot stop you when your purpose is stronger than your excuses. Laziness cannot dominate you when your goals inspire you to rise every morning with determination. Vision gives clarity, It allows you to see beyond your current struggles and focus on the future you are building. When difficulties arise, you remind yourself that every step is a part of the journey toward something greater. This clarity silences confusion and keeps your mind steady even in uncertain times. Purpose fuels passion. When you live with purpose, your actions are not random, they are intentional. You no longer waste energy fighting meaningless battles or chasing empty distractions. Instead, you direct your energy toward what aligns with your destiny. Purpose is like fire in the soul. It burns away excuses and ignites discipline. When you combine vision with purpose, you create an unshakable force within. The inner enemies may still whisper, but they cannot uproot a mind anchored in destiny. You learn to see every challenge as preparation, every delay as training, and every setback as a lesson. Ultimately, vision and purpose transform your inner battle into inner strength. They remind you that you were created for more, and when that truth becomes clear, no fear, no doubt, no insecurity can defeat you. With vision and purpose, victory is already yours. Living in victory over inner enemies is not a single event, but a lifestyle you cultivate every day. Once you have identified fear, doubt, procrastination, laziness, anger, and insecurity, and you begin the process of renewing your mind, practicing discipline, and anchoring yourself in vision, you step into a new way of living. This life is not about perfection, but about progress. It is about consistently choosing growth over excuses and courage over hesitation. Victory is not measured by the absence of struggle, but by the mastery of response. Even when negative thoughts appear, you no longer surrender to them. Instead, you rise above them with clarity, purpose, and strength. Living in victory also means developing confidence rooted in action. Every time you overcome procrastination and take a step forward, your confidence grows. Each victory, no matter how small, becomes proof that you are stronger than the enemies within. Over time, these victories accumulate, and you begin to see yourself differently, not as someone trapped by fear or insecurity, but as someone empowered, capable, and free. True victory brings freedom. It frees you from self-sabotage, from wasted potential, and from the chains of regret. It allows you to focus fully on your goals and to live with peace, knowing you are no longer at war with yourself. This freedom is the foundation of fulfillment. It is the place where you can use your talents boldly, pursue your vision passionately, and live your purpose without hesitation. The greatest battles are always fought within, but so are the greatest victories. When you conquer yourself, you unlock the highest level of success. Living in victory means waking up each day knowing that the strongest enemy is already defeated, and because of that, your destiny is unstoppable.